What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Will Motivation back with another video, and today we are talking about how to drive a Lamborghini Huracan Evo. Okay, so this behind me is my 2023 Lamborghini Huracan Evo. Let's take a little bit of a closer look. That's right. Now, the interesting thing about this particular Lamborghini Huracan Evo is that it is rear-wheel drive. But for the purposes of this video, let me go ahead and back it out. We'll take a quick walk around on the car. I'll show you some things to note. But for the purposes of this video, learning how to drive a Lamborghini Huracan Evo, the rear-wheel drive and the all-wheel drive, the way to drive it is the same. You'll just have to be a little bit more careful driving this one because it is rear-wheel drive and it has over 600 horsepower. So let's get in. All right, so inside the Lamborghini Huracan Evo, first thing you want to do, close the door and take a look at the cockpit. This is your infotainment center right here. This is how you start it. Lift this thing up right here. Hold your foot down on the brake and then press start. All right, there we go. Now, one thing to note, when you press start, you do not have to hold the button down. I see a lot of people that hold the button down when they start the car, and that is not necessary. You just press it once, and then the car will start. Now, there's been research done. A lot of people say, you know, when a car is cold, you shouldn't drive it. But really, you can drive your car after you start it. Let it warm up for, you know, no more than a minute. And then you can drive it. But the thing to pay attention to is this right here. Let me get a close up. You see where it's red at 6,000 RPM? That means when you do drive it, just don't pass 6,000 RPM and you'll be fine. Now, as the car warms up, that red line will move from 6,000 to 8,000 when the car is warm, and then you know you can drive the car normal. All right, so let's go ahead and back up. I'm going to show you guys how to back up the car. What you want to do, I'm going to show you a few more things that you need to know. But to back up, you pull that up, and the R will light up. Then you'll also see the backup camera on the screen, which you can use. And if you're like me and your car's in a garage, the thing you got to be careful of course, come straight back. But you got to be careful that the mirrors do not hit your garage door, right? So we're going to come out. I got a lot of room over there. Got less room over here, so I'm going to make a little slight adjustment. Then we're good. Then we'll come straight back out. And that's with any car, of course, but with the Lamborghini, they are wide. Now, operating your garage door opener. So let me restart this. All right, so now next thing you want to know how to operate is your garage door opener. If you have that option in your car, this is an option. But they're right here on the roof in the center console. You press that button and it's home link. So if you have home link in your Audi or whatever other kind of car, you can just use home link as normal. Now, we're backing up onto the street right now, okay? All of these things are important that I'm showing you. You do not want to scrape your front end. So, most Lamborghini Huracans have a front end lift. Not all of them, but most of them. If you have a front end lift, the way you operate it to lift it up or lift it down is to pull that up once, slightly. Then the car will start to lift. You'll see that little indicator right there. And once it's done, that indicator will stop flashing and it will stay solid. All right, so it's still flashing, still going up, and done. All right, so now your front end lift is up. So now we can finish backing up out of the driveway. All right. course, you want to keep an eye on your rear view camera to make sure you don't hit anything. Keep an eye on your mirrors. That is the first step to driving your Lamborghini Huracan Evo. Now, second step, you've got the car out of the driveway, and let's say you want to check the tire pressure and everything. So to put the car in park, you press this P right there. P is for park, M is for manual or auto. So if you want to shift the car manually, you press M. If you want to put it back into auto, you press M again, and then you'll see there in the console. So we'll show you that here in a second, but I wanted to put the car in park. Now I want to put the front end lift down. So I pull that up one time, and then now the car will start going down in the front. You can kind of see it going down. Let's see. It's going down a little bit. And when it's done, that indicator will disappear. We're in park. As you can see right there, it says P for park. Now we can get out and inspect the car. All right, quick walk around on the car. Things you need to know. When you hit the remote on the car, you hit it one time to unlock it, and the door handle will come out for you. If you don't hit the remote and that's flat, you just push right there where you see that little indentation, and that will slide this out, and then you can pull the door to open it. All right, so that's how you open the door. Let me show you the remote real quick so you know what the remote looks like when you're ready to open the car door. This is a like keyless start. So you got the push button start, so you don't have to put a key in to start it. There's the unlock button. There's the lock button, and you hold that down to pop open the trunk. With the car running, that will not open, so the car has to be off. Now, of course, just like any other car, if you want to check the tire pressure, you just loosen up the valve stems. But this car has a tire pressure reader in the system of the car. So if you need to check your tire pressure, you just start driving, and in a couple of minutes, your tire pressure will show up. These are your daytime running lights that will light up as soon as a car comes on. So you're good to go there. These are your intakes, brake cooling, intake here for your engine. Now, one thing that is also important when you are driving this car is when you go to fill up. All you have to do to open the gas tank is push right there, and then you can open the gas tank and close it. Push right there, it snaps closed. If the car is locked, that will not work. So in order for you to be able to open the gas tank, the car has to be unlocked. That's how you open up the gas tank. What other things are important as you take a little walk around the exterior? The exhaust, you can put in a quiet mode or a loud mode. I installed a aftermarket modification to keep the valves open or control them manually, so I'll show that to you guys now. But if you didn't have the aftermarket exhaust valve controller, the valves would stay closed until you hit 4,000 or 5,000 RPM. So I have this little controller. So if I press the button, did I press it? It's cold, man. All right, there we go. Guess that remote is a little sensitive. All right, so now my valves are closed so you guys can hear me, and I'm going to show you how to go ahead and get ready to drive this car. Now, there's a lever, if you can see it right there, to adjust the steering wheel. You just pull it down. That loosens up the steering wheel, and you can telescope it in and out, move it up and down. I like mine right there, so I'm gonna. Then once you got it set up, you pull that lever back into place all the way up. Then you have your steering wheel to where you want it. Next thing is adjusting your mirrors. Right now, with this in the center, you have heated mirrors, right? So if it's cold outside, that'll keep the mirrors from fogging up. But then when you want to adjust your mirrors, you just turn it that way and adjust to the left or right, up and down. Same thing on the right hand side, up or down. And then if you need to fold the mirrors in, you just put it all the way to the bottom, and then your mirrors will fold in. All right, so let's put it back out. There we go, mirrors coming back out. All right, so how do you get this bad boy in gear? Now this one is equipped with cruise control. It is not adaptive cruise control, so you're not going to be that lucky. Let me back up a little bit. You got cruise control. Not all Lamborghinis, most Huracans do not have cruise control, believe it or not. I think that is really a big mistake on Lamborghini's part, because people drive these cars, and if you get on the freeway and you do a road trip, you want to have cruise control. So if you're optioning one of these cars and you're just getting ready to buy your Lamborghini Huracan Evo or different version of the Huracan, always get cruise control. Trust me, you'll appreciate it later. Now, what is this right here? This is your anima. Controlling these set the tone or the way the vehicle will behave. If you put the car in Corsa, it will go into manual mode. So let's start driving so you can see a little bit better what that looks like. Forgot one thing before we take off. You're looking at, if you want to know how to adjust your seat, there's a power seat control right here on the side, and your lumbar control right there on the side as well. So that's your seat controls. A lot of cars come with racing seats, and if you have racing seats, you will not have those controls. You'll have manual controls on the seats. I much prefer the regular comfort seats. All right, putting the car in drive, what I did is I clicked the plus. If you see that little plus right there, that is the upshift. That'll put you in first gear. If you look right here, that's my gear selector right there for Corsa. I'm gonna put it back in Strata mode. Let's put it in Strata mode. So I change the mode here from Corsa to Strata. Then you know, let me back up so you can see. So we put it in first gear, put off the brake, and then it drives just like a normal car. Now, let me put the car in automatic mode. Right now it's in manual mode, and you can see the one for first gear. Let me put it in automatic mode. Manual, automatic, there. Hit the M, now it's in auto mode, and you see a little A on the dash for automatic. And now, going 30 miles an hour, it shifted all the way to 7th gear, right? So when you're in Strata mode, it is gonna be very conservative. So let me back up so you can see. When you're in Strata mode, the car is gonna be very conservative, and it's shifting to save you gas. So look, it's 37 miles an hour, and we're in 7th gear, which is the top gear for this car. And it's doing that because it's trying to save you some gas as you drive. Now, the blinkers, let me show you the blinker. The blinkers are like a motorcycle. You flick it to the right or the left to turn on your blinkers. I flicked it to the right because, of course, I'm turning right. Right out of the gates, we're good. Now, I want you to notice, I have the car in quiet mode, so that's why you don't hear the engine. I'll open up the valve so you can hear that. But I want you to notice the red line has now moved to 8,500 RPM because the car is now warmed up. I'm in auto mode. So in auto mode, let me click the turn signal right there. Let me show you how to turn the turn signals on and off. But right in auto mode, this car is super easy to drive. Okay, it's bogging a little bit because it's being so conservative on the gears. But let me show you how to turn the blinkers on and off. Let's say you want to do a lane change and you want to turn your blinker on, you want to do a left-hand change. You hit the switch to the left and you say, oh, never mind, I don't want to go left. All you have to do is push down on that and that'll turn it off. A lot of people don't like that, but for me, I love it because now you don't have a big goofy stalk, like turn signal stalk, sitting out the side of your console area, hitting in your knee. You see, I don't have long legs, but I am kind of tall. But I like to move my knees around so my knees don't start aching and stuff because I'm old, right? So sometimes I have my leg down, sometimes I have it up. If you got that stalk there, it gets in the way. So on this car, you don't have that stalk, which I love. you could just use your thumb while you're driving to turn left or right. Now, if you want to turn your brights on or you want to flash your brights because you're in the fast lane and you want somebody to move out the way, all you have to do to flash your brights is, watch this, you press this button right here. So you can hit it. I'm going to hit it when cars are gone. Boom. That flashes my lights. People will get out the way when you're in the fast lane on the freeway. Now, if you want the bright lights to stay on, you just hold that button down, and that will keep the bright lights on while you're driving. All right. Now, how do you turn on your windshield wipers? Well, it's just as easy as using your thumb on the turn signal. What you do to turn on your windshield wipers is you have your right hand on the steering wheel, use your thumb, and to do a quick wipe or to like spray and clean your windows, you press this top button here. Now let's watch what happens. You got to hold the button down to get the spray to come out. And then once it comes out, you're good. It'll automatically wipe, then it'll shut down after they're clean. Now that's all automatic. Now, if you want to turn your wipers on or off, to turn them off, you click that just like you would turn off your turn signals. You click it down. Or to turn it on low, you hit the washers to the left. That'll turn it on low or automatic. Then turn them back off right there. So that's how you control it. If you want to speed up the speed of the washers, turn it to the right. So that's how you control your windshield wipers. All right. Now, if you look at your control center here, your digital display. All right, you have auto start stop just in time. So we're stopped at a light. Now, if you want to turn that off, which most people do, this second switch here, that turns off the auto start stop. Now, how do you roll the windows down? Push forward to roll the windows down. To roll them up, pull it back. It's automatic up and down, so you just have to pull it back once. To turn on your hazards, you flick this center button, and your hazards are turned on. To turn them back off, you flick it back again, and you just pull it back lightly. Don't break those buttons and pull those things back too hard and mess around and break it. If you pull it back once and nothing happens, just wait, look around, calm down, and try it again. You might have to push it forward. Now, we are in a rear-wheel drive Lamborghini Huracan. I have not mastered drifting in this car just yet, but I plan to. So if you want to subscribe to watch me learn how to drift this car like an expert, please subscribe to my channel. But I'm going to show you, if you wanted to drift this car, you have to do two things. You've got to put the car in sport mode. Okay, we're in sport mode now, so that's going to give us a little bit more aggressive shifting. You put it in sport mode, and then you turn on or you turn off this ESC control. So if you pull that back once, ESC is off. You'll see this little thing right there. Traction control is off. And if you really want to get wild, you put it in Corsa mode, and you can get all the way loose with this car with no traction. If you're in sport mode, even with traction control off, it's not completely off, so that's sort of a fallacy, but we're going to turn it back on. We'll hit that one time. Now it's in ESC sport mode, so it'll let you drift the car just a little bit in sport mode. We're not going to drift it right now. That's for another video, so stay tuned. But those are all of the controls: your windows, your front end lift, your ESC off, electronic stability control off, your hazards, your parking sensors is this one right here. I'll leave that on all the time, but you can turn it off. All right, so let's turn on our blinkers and let's get on down the road onto the highway as we drive this Lamborghini Huracan in sport mode. All right, let's get it to downshift. We lost traction a little bit there. So you got to be careful when this car is cold and rear wheel. Now, if you're all-wheel drive, the car is super sure-footed. I came from an all-wheel drive Huracan, but I wanted to have a little bit more fun and have the option to get the rear end loose if I wanted to. And I got a I got a rear-wheel drive Huracan Evo when I traded in my 610-4 all-wheel drive. And I actually never did a video on how to drive it, so I figured I would do it this time for anybody that's curious, or you're going to rent one, or you're going to buy one day, whatever the case may be. This is how you drive it. Now, watch what happens when I put the car in Corsa, which is race mode. Go down here, put it in Corsa. Look how the screen changes. This is your Corsa mode screen. I like it because you still got a view of the oil temperature, the oil pressure. On the right hand side, you got the water temperature and your gas gauge. I like how you can see all that, and then you can focus on your RPMs. So now we're in Corsa mode. The thing to note when you're in Corsa mode, listen closely. When you go into Corsa mode, if you have the dampening suspension, I have the automatic magnetic suspension, which is tighter or looser depending on what mode you're in. When you're in Corsa mode, the suspension will get very stiff and you'll feel it like I feel it right now. So I'm feeling all of the bumps in the road. The other thing that happens is your steering will tighten up. It's real tight. The steering is real tight and direct. And furthermore, your transmission is no longer automatic. You have to manually shift. So to downshift, you hit this paddle on the left. Now let me, I'm gonna open up the valves so you can hear the engine. So let me open up the valves 1 second. All right, valves are open. So we can hear the car. You can hear the car now. I gotta manually shift now. You'll get a little pops and crackle when you're in Corsa or sport mode. But you can only have the car in manual transmission mode when you're in Corsa. All right, we got a nice little curve up here. So let's just drive a little bit. Hug the curves, hug the curves. When you're on the freeway and you're rolling, the rear-wheel drive car is pretty sure-footed. You'd have to hammer it in auto mode, and it would downshift at full throttle in order for the wheels to get loose on the freeway. So if you're manually shifting, you are likely not going to get loose on the freeway in a rear-wheel drive Lamborghini. All right, so I will turn the video back on once I get out of traffic a little bit. I'm gonna put the car in auto mode. Let's see here. So to get it back in auto, let's put it in street mode. Put it back in street mode, then hit in for manual. All right, now we're in auto. The car will downshift to 7th gear. All right, what else do you need to know? Of course, if you need to beep the horn, all you gotta do is press in on the center. This car is very much like driving an Audi. If you're wondering what these buttons are here, they control your display. So if you hit the one in the center, it'll change the options on the left. You hit up or down, that'll cycle through the different options on the screen. I don't wanna mess up my options because getting it back to the way I originally set it is actually a pain in the butt. So I'm not gonna do that for you guys today. Now, you may be wondering, well, what is this big giant screen right here? That is your infotainment system. I'm driving, so it's a little hard to control it. But when I come to a stop, I'll show you how to control the infotainment system. All right, so hopefully this has been helpful so far, but stay tuned. All right, so we just pulled off the freeway. Now, here's where you can control your heating and cooling and your audio. Man, I'm gonna have to do this when I pull up to my destination. I'm actually taking the car to get some slight mods done to it with Roger from Essex Auto Enhancement. We're actually gonna do some little things to make this my own unique Huracan. So shout out to Roger. All right, so how do we control the the screen here in the Evo. So these are your telephone controls, media controls, vehicle controls, settings, radio, navigation, sound, and CarPlay. So navigation, click this. Got navigation. Here's your navigation. That's how you go back to home. This is your audio control, up and down on the volume. CarPlay. That's all you really need to know. If you want to turn on your heating and cooling, it's up here at the top. That's your klima. Turn it on and off. There you go. Climate. So you just play around with that, and there you go. That's how you drive a Huracan.
It's the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather. I'm here to tell you guys to go to Wheel Motivation. The exotic cars is crazy. I've been watching this show for a little while now, and it's growing. But we need everybody else to subscribe to Wheel Motivation and support Will. I'm supporting them. You do the same.